Hello friends, my name's Aaron Ciotti. Everybody calls me Ciotti. Welcome to Friday, fixing shit because I destroyed it all at Castle Crash. Yeah, I beat some shit up, that's for sure. As a quick kind of recap, I broke a motor on here. This is the Beta FPV Air 65. Actually, this might be an ESC, come to think of it. I hope not, but I have a feeling that I just bent a motor shaft super bad on this. I hope. Yeah, again, this is the Air 65 with the 5-in-1, not the Matrix, but the 5-in-1 AIO, Air 65 AIO, that I moved over to the Meteor 65 Pro frame on the 1.4 inch props. This was the first rig that I flew, and it was a blast. Oh, it looks like I broke off two of the plastic motor screws too. Well, maybe that's why the motor stopped spinning. One of the motors just started twitching. Hopefully it's this front motor. We'll throw a battery into it and check it out. It looks like one of the plastic screws vibrated all the way out. It's just gone. The other plastic screw, it ripped the head off, which is going to be extra annoying. And kind of the reason that I don't usually run plastic screws, but I wanted this to be absolutely as light as possible. So this is the first rig that I broke. Then I blew up one of these Firefly 36,000 kV motors. Oh, so yeah, I couldn't fix this because the motors are soldered, direct soldered. And then I broke this guy, but the motors are on plugs, so I just grabbed a motor from another rig and swapped it on, and this thing kept going. I think this thing flew to the end? No. Something happened to this. We'll plug a battery in and take a look. And then this is the Mobula 6 2024 that the direct soldered motor wire broke off, so we're gonna fix that. And then this guy is the Matrix AIO that I thought the camera mount broke. The ultralight Bribrain mount broke in the front here, so we just need to swap the camera mount on this. Although I do also need to swap the motor back. I stole one of the motors off this for that other rig. This is the this here is the 36,000 kV motor that I killed. So yeah, we're gonna fix some shit tonight, and we're gonna start moving stuff onto Cockroach V3 frames. I've got an old mangled Cockroach V3 frame here that we'll just keep beating on until we finally at some point maybe kill it. Although now that I look at it, it looks like the front support is broken here. But that shouldn't make a difference. I've had that happen a bunch of times. And then I've got another V3 frame here with 40,000 kV motors in it. So one, maybe two of these rigs will get swapped over to Cockroach 65 V3 frames because they've got the taller ducts, which makes them slower, which makes them easier to fly inside, as we've been kind of talking about quite a bit lately. In the chat, FizzFPV was first, Josh Bergeron, Benny Bravo, Yukon FPV, Schweizer, Mr. Clean, Cole Powers, Uriel, Frosty, Brian Kirk. What's up, friends? Thanks for hanging. Hope you had an excellent week. I had an up and down week, if I'm completely honest, but it's Friday, damn it. Hey, here's some flight footage from the Quadmula. I don't have enough cable on it to show it to you. The Quadmula F3 Siren, I did a terrible job in remembering to hit stop at the end of the recordings with this at Castle Crash, and so I have pretty much no footage from this, which is super annoying. But I flew a quick battery around the neighborhood a minute ago. This thing is such a blast. I also reversed the camera mount because at Castle Crash, this camera mount, I had them rotated the other way, and the camera was sitting really deep inside the frame, and there was a ton of top plate in view, which looked super ugly. So yeah, I got that fixed. This has the naked O3 on board, and at the moment, I've got an ND16 on it. I just flew it around in 4K 60. It's a little bit late here. I flew it around like half an hour ago, so like 6:30 on the East Coast. And it was a little bit dark outside, but that let me move the shutter speed down to 1/60th of a second, and the motion blur was actually looking pretty good. So let me put that on right now. This is the rig that was on the Walksnail video system, the old school version 1 Walksnail. And it was okay, but the boy, O3 is something special. Here, check this out. So, what's this going to open up in? Oh, it better not. Okay, good. It didn't open up on top of the other file. So it's a little bit dark. This is the first, see, like, yeah, way too dark down here. So this is me getting used to the O3 system and figuring out what it does well and what it doesn't do well. At the moment, it has too much, there's too much of a range of adjustment that it has. And so when I point it up at the sky, the ground goes completely dark. And then there's this big, it adjusts too slowly. Like you can see it adjusting here, right? So the ground is all black, and now it starts to open up. I mean, it's not that bad, but like, see right there, that's nasty. It really starts exposing for the sky in the top right corner here. God, there is still a lot of top plate in view up here. That's pretty obnoxious. I don't know what the deal is with that. I don't understand why Quadmula would have so much. I'm using their mounts. I wouldn't think that there'd be so much top plate in view. I mean, I could go. It is on super wide. I could fly it in like regular wide because this is pretty bad. This is pretty ugly here. But yeah, this is me starting to learn DJI O3. I didn't use DJI O3 at all. You can see, like, right now is kind of the best mix of exposing the highlights, right? We've got a little bit of detail here in the clouds, and then we've got a little bit of detail down here in the street. But yeah, it's pretty contrasty, man. And this is late in the afternoon, where there's not that much of a difference in brightness between the shadows and the sky. And so, yeah, I need to put 10, 15 more batteries through this. Oh, look at that. Like, look at what just happened there. That's just brutal. Ready? Ugh. Ew. Ew. So, basically, I need to well, here, let me just let the rest of it play. I need to narrow down the range of adjustment that this thing has. Don't let it brighten up so much, and don't let it darken down so much. And I can do that by restricting the ISO. I believe right now the ISO is allowed to go from 100 to 800, and that's too much. I need to bring it down to like 100 to 400, or maybe even 100 to 200. The shutter speed is locked at 1/60th, which is where we're getting all this nice motion blur. A really good example that'll be here, right? Tons of motion blur down here on the ground. But again, it's exposing also a lot of noise down here. Like, look how noisy the ground is, right? That's pretty ugly. It's right now I'm under the trees, and you can see that the sky is completely blown out. And so this is probably at 800 ISO. And so the O3 system does, yeah, it's getting too noisy at 800 ISO. So I need to, yeah, change that limit, the ISO limit, to either 400 or 200. And also, I was being a little bit lazy. I should have taken the ND16 off. This is, I could have flown this with no ND filter at all, or an ND4. But yeah, this is the Siren F3. It flies really good. Look at how solid that is. Not much tuning. No bobble at all on that. This is a hard move. This move right here is... it really uncovers problems in the tune. And that is absolutely rock solid there. I did maybe like one quick prop wash turn, and it just ate it up. This is on Mamba Toka 1505 motors with Gemfan 3052 props. Yeah, I mean, look how bad that is. Look at it getting super confused and just exposing for the sky. And, like, everything down here is just completely black. That's a bit much. So, yeah, this is good for learning the O3 system. This is kind of important. I ran this battery way too far down. So there you go. That would be the third battery that I flew on the O3 system. I flew two at Castle Crash, and then this one a little bit earlier. So I'm learning it. Bracket that down. We'll be good to go. That's the Siren F3. This is probably done. This rig will probably live exactly like this forever. Well, until I blow up the O3. Obviously, hopefully I don't, but hey. Microsoft Auto Update. Can you stop? I've deleted all of your files. What updates are available? What are you updating? You're updating yourself? I don't want you to exist. Oh my god. This Microsoft update installed itself somewhere, and now I can't get it to stop popping up. It's absolutely infuriating. I did one quick Google search for it, and I found a bunch of shit that I deleted, but apparently I didn't delete enough stuff. I gotta find where the hell it is. Super annoying. Stop it, Microsoft. Stop it! I don't want you. Go away. Okay. What else is going on? Alright, cool. I just wanted to get this thing. Here you go. There it is. Siren F3, split base plate. Naked O3 in the back. Full-size camera in the front so that I can use the camera butter ND filters. Kind of annoying because I have that stupid error message saying camera doesn't match the VTX. I find it absolutely insane that there's no way to get around that, but hey, that's DJI for you, I guess. I'm also starting to figure out the O3 settings. I'd had O3, so I'm kind of used to O4, where you can change the power output separate from the bandwidth, the megabits per second. On the O3, you can't. And what I like to do is run lower bandwidth and then higher power. Lower bandwidth is smaller packets, and you get more range that way. On the O3, you can't do that. And the O3 in 20 megabits per second was pretty bad. I don't have great antennas on here. I have Walksnail antennas on here. Just because this is a freestyle rig and I'm going to bash the living shit out of it. So I don't want to put nice antennas on it. But yeah, this thing on 20 megabits per second was pretty bad. Ripping around just now on 40 megabits per second was way, way, way better. So that was a win. One of these Mamba Toka 1505s is doing the thing that they do, which is that they rip the bell off of the motor shaft, and it's this one, so I got to keep a really close eye on motor number 4 because it is going to pull. This bell is going to separate at some point here. But yeah, still kind of dialing this thing in, so I'm not going to fly it anywhere unrecoverable. Before I fly it somewhere unrecoverable, I will switch that motor out. If you find Toka 1505s for sale, don't buy them. They rip motor bells off motor shafts. They make great power, but yeah, you can't fly them anywhere fun because at any moment during flight, the bells could just go bye-bye. I'm really happy with this rig though, man. This is really fun to fly. The footage is starting to look good as I kind of learn the O3 system. So this is a huge win. And running that huge chunk of multiple layers of heat transfer tape on the bottom of this thing really works well. It dumps a lot of heat off of the naked GoPro into this carbon fiber base plate to keep itself cool, which is pretty slick. It does overheat pretty quick though, to be fair. But fun to fly, man. Matter of fact, I'm putting it right back on the coffee table to remind me to fly it again tomorrow. I think I'm going to sell a whole big kit. I think I'm going to sell this case that Custom FPV made for me with my old school logo on the back and then new school logo on the inside, with the 1S Walksnail 75mm whoop. And a bunch of batteries too. And those of you that watch the live streams, of course, get first crack. Yeah, I think I'm going to sell this as like a big kit. So it'll be lava. It'll be 2 Lava 450s. No, Lava 450, Lava 550, old school blue and white Beta FPV 550, and then 2 Lava 450s, I should say, 2 Weebleed 450s, all these BT 2.0, and then 2 of the Tiny Whoop 450s with the little leads on them. So, whole bunch of batteries, the case, and then this rig, which flies really decent. It's got the Beta FPV 1102 22,000 kV motors on it, Gemfan 1610s, the old school Beta FPV Cross AIO, and then the Walksnail Lite, and the Mobula 6 old school canopy, and there's also a True RC Singularity antenna in there. BT 2.0, of course. So yeah, I'm not going to fly it. I'm not going to fly this much, if at all. And I would rather it go to somebody that is actually going to fly it. So if you're interested in this as a full kit, let me know. It won't be cheap. You know, the Walksnail lights are like $100. Bunch of batteries, full build. Oh, it's a Air 75 frame as well. Not the version 2, the previous version. And so yeah, it's tuned, it's dialed in, it flies really good for what it is, but again, I'm just not gonna fly it. I'm too obsessed with O4 and with 2S builds. Super quiet, super nice little kit, bunch of batteries, go out and rip. Let me know if you're interested. Live streamers get first crack, as always. At some point, if nobody wants it, I'll put it up on the Etsy store. I've also got 2 of these Weebleed 465 1S batteries. I'm keeping one of these, but these 2 need to go somewhere. If you have a good reason for one of these giant, long jousting batteries, let me know, and it could be yours. Buy something from the Etsy store, and like I'll throw them in or whatever. This is how these batteries sit in the frame. So you can't fly freestyle with them because you'll smash them into stuff and rip your battery lead off. But if you've got like a long range 1S whoop, or if you just have a reason for a battery that's not going to sag, this is kind of a cool bench battery. Yeah, let me know. Buy something off my Etsy store. Weebleed sent these to me. So yeah, buy something off the Etsy store and I'll throw it in. You got to have a good reason though. Again, I want these to go to a good home. I want these to get used. Also coming to the Etsy store, I've got a whole bunch of these whoop stands. And these two, well, I guess I'll print more of the things. So they have different little heads on them. This is the 300 mAh 1S head. This is the 450 mAh, 550 mAh 1S head. And then there's another one for 2S. Ah! So yeah, coming to Etsy near you. The tiny whoops sit, so it sits like this, and then the tiny whoop just hooks on there. It's the ones that I've had sitting in here forever, and then it's a little display stand. And so yeah, if you're interested in these before I get the Etsy listing up, just let me know. What else? What else? This is what else. DJI finally got me my O4 Lite back. And I sent them one of my CiottiFPV stickers, and the bastards sent it back to me. I was like, really? I wanted someone there to have this sticker. They put it in like a little TSA looking bag. I think they just sent me a new one because I just had to peel off the little thing. Let's look inside. So yeah, they've had this for like 2 months. Yeah, they did. They just sent me a new one. No, they didn't. Yeah, they did. Maybe it's a refurbished one. But I certainly did not send it looking like this, and there's a little silica gel packet in here. So yeah, they will. They fixed this for free. I broke an O4 Lite. I sent it to them. I told them exactly what happened. I told them I smashed it into something and it stopped working. And yeah, they sent me this free of charge. It did take a while, but you know, the last 2 months have been tariff hell, and so I kind of can't blame them for taking forever to send it back to me. I'm happy that they sent it back at all. We're starting to see O4 Lites pop up for sale again, which is pretty awesome. So maybe we're I don't know. I've also seen that judges have rightfully said, hey, dumb fuck, you can't just make tariffs up because you want to, you asshole. You have to actually go through, you know, things like the functioning government, you know, not ignore the Constitution, not ignore, like, everything that we've done in this country since day one to make sure that assholes like you can't screw every single person over for your own personal gain. So that's been pretty cool. But yeah, I'm excited to have this back. This is this particular one is going to get put back. I'm gonna get the 2-inch build back put together. So I will at the moment I rebuilt the Mobula 7 O4. So Happymodel sent me this Mob 7 O4 without the O4 air unit. And initially I put the air unit in and I flew it around. I made a quick little edit with it. And it was really good. I'm really shocked at how good the stone stock Mobula 7 O4 is. In its current form, I actually swapped on these iFlight Defender 1002 14,000 kV motors. When I bought this, the first generation of Mobula 704s had 1002 11,000 kV motors. And they performed pretty well, but 11,000 kV is a little bit too low. I think the current generation of this has 1002 14,000 kV motors, which are exactly what these iFlight motors are. And boy, that extra 3,000 kV makes a difference. And so this thing is great right now, but it's sort of in this weird in-between. Like, I did this because I had to send this back, and so I figured, hey, I'll have the in-between build. Basically, when I got the Mobula 704, I flew it around, and then I took it out and I put it into a 2-inch prop frame, the Mobula 8 85mm frame, and I started flying that around, and then I built another one around the regular 75mm motor-to-motor 1.6-inch prop frame. The Mobula 704 is the weirdo, slightly bigger prop size, 1.8 inch props, basically. But when this guy broke, I figured, hey, you know, let me go back into the middle and see if this can be one, you know, one size build to rule them all. And it can't. This flies very similar to the 1.6 inch prop lighter weight version that I had. It does not fly like the 2-inch Mobula 8 version. The 1103 motors on the Mobula 8 85 millimeter motor to motor frame with the 2-inch props, it's just beastly, man. Like, nothing really compares to that. It picks up the extra 8 grams of the O4 Lite as if it's like it doesn't even notice it. And it's a big thing. Like, it does not fly like any other tiny whoop. It makes like shooting tiny little gaps more difficult, but when you hammer it over a set of trees, it does that a lot better. And so there's nothing wrong with this at all. But for me, I would rather have the biggest, heaviest possible prop guarded setup with the 2-inch builds, and then I would rather have the lightest weight 2S 1.6 inch build. This is in that weird no man's land where it's a little bit heavier than the regular 75. And like, what I want to do with the regular 75 is have something that's as light as possible to shoot the tiny little gaps and to be like infinitely sort of maneuverable. And so what's going to happen here is that the 2-inch build is going to get a heavy canopy setup, but a canopy setup that'll allow me to run the Flywoo ND filters. So the 2-inch O4 Lite build will basically become like a Cinewhoop. Big, heavy, it can handle the extra weight. And then the smaller one is going to have this canopy setup, this Happymodel molded canopy setup. So yeah, that'll be pretty cool. Very psyched that this came back to me. The 2-inch setup will be on XT30. The 1.6 inch setup will be on BT 3.0. So yeah, that's what's going on with that. The other problem with this is that this frame is slightly bigger and it doesn't fit in anything. Like, none of these cases work with this stupid in the middle size, right? Like, that's the problem with the 1.4 inch and the 1.8 inch setups. That's one of the problems, is that like you have to, you know, they don't fit anywhere, and then you got to run different propellers. It's super annoying. 1.2 inch, 1.6 inch, 2-inch is all we need. We don't really need 1.4. I've had a blast building these 1.4 inch setups, but they're absolutely unnecessary. And then these 1.8 inch setups, again, it's unnecessary. We don't need something in between. 2-inch, 1.6 inch, 1.2 inch. That's what we need. 65, 75, 85. No reason to go in between. Unless the 85 is definitely too big for you. I can't possibly imagine that being the case. Or a 75 millimeter motor to motor 1.6 inch prop is definitely too small. Again, I can't possibly see that being the case. This flies very similar to the 75 millimeter 1.6 inch build. And so yeah, it's just silly to keep creating all these extra prop sizes. It's really, really, really annoying. But we're not going to do that tonight. That is coming up, though. A couple of shout-outs to folks that gave me stickers. Billy Waffles, Euphoric FPV at Castle Crash, and then Night Flights. I actually talked to Night Flights quite a bit. He's a cinematic pilot that's super tied in, man. Really impressed with how much work he's been able to get. Very jealous, to be honest. Super cool guy, too, man. Is that all the housekeeping stuff? Not quite. If you or anybody you know has an iFlight Defender, let me know. I got a bunch of spare parts for them. This is the 1.6 Defender 16. This is where the O3, the naked O3 air unit actually came from. Yeah, if you know anybody that has a Defender 16, hit me up. There's a case in here. There's a flight controller in here. I stole the motors, but there's a bunch of stuff. I just want this to go to somebody that can actually use it. I believe that is about it. What's happening in the chat? If you want to talk to me in the chat, hey, this is a completely crowdfunded thing. I need your help. If you like tuning in, getting some entertainment, maybe me telling you what not to buy so you don't waste $50, $60, $70 on electronics or a shitty frame. Hook a brother up. I need your help to keep doing this. Head on over to CiottiFPV.com. Join my Patreon. That's the best way you can support me, and you get the most benefit from that. Buy something from my Etsy store. Buy a t-shirt for my Teespring shop. Change all of your bookmarks to different FPV websites to my affiliate links. Million different ways that you can support me and other content creators. You know, as the economy gets driven into the dirt, arts are going to be the first thing to go. So those of us on YouTube are going to get hammered. We already have been. And so please do support us so that we can keep doing what we're doing. I like to think that for most of you, I save you more money than you... not for some of you. Some of you are unbelievably generous supporters, and I definitely don't save you more money than what you pay for. But I think a lot of you that are on like the $3 or $5 a month tier, I think it's safe to say that I save you more money than what you pay. I super appreciate that. If you're on the Tiny Whoop tier for $5 a month and you have an extra $1, you can just bump up to $60 a month. You can stay on that tier. You can jump up to $10 a month and stay on that tier. Yeah, help me help you. I'll keep testing stuff. I'll tell you what's good and what sucks, and then you can have the good stuff and have the most fun possible. FizzPV, also tag me in the chat if you want me to read your chat messages. FizzPV says, CiottiFPV flew today. ORT works great. Thank you again. But it was getting better reception than my Synolog. RHCP patch and Omni on the goggles. Could the antenna on the Synolog be crappy? Absolutely. The ORT Micro Vs that I have in the magical custom length, boy, they are awesome antennas. I'm so impressed by ORT's antennas. So yeah, if you get one of these ORT Micro V antennas, and all of a sudden you have another rig that's not getting as good reception, that's a great indication that either that VTX on that other build is on its way out, or that antenna is either shitty or broken. If you take an antenna and you shake it and it's like rattly, it's blown up. It's basically not an antenna anymore. So replace it. Mike K says, did Beta FPV make an Air 75 V2 frame? They did indeed. And Beta FPV was gonna send me one, but instead they accidentally sent me more of the 65 V2 frames. But it is what it is. Uriel says, what will be the weight? What will be the weight of what? Mike K says, which canopy did you say was the best for 65 millimeters that you have in your Etsy? Bry Brain is my favorite canopy. I think it's on my Etsy store. I think I put them up there. Maybe not. I might have just gotten the bat wings up there. I do have the McStinkies, though. You can order a McStinky for $5 and then in the notes say, yo, I want a Bry Brain instead. Maybe I didn't get the Bry Brains up there yet. I'm just scrolling through my... I did not. Just order a McStinky and throw in the notes what color you want and which Bry Brain you want. Tell me what camera you've got. Or just order the McStinky that's for the right camera, right? There's a little McStinky for the small frame cameras. There's a big McStinky for the bigger frame cameras like the B-Brain, the BI rather. And then there's a Runcam Nano Runcam Nano 3 McStinky as well. So order the right McStinky, leave in the notes that you want a Bry Brain instead. The McStinky is actually totally fine. FizzPV says recommendations for one to replace the ones on my two larger ones. That's a lot of ones, dude. They both have the stock Gep RC Nano. My favorite antennas are the True RC Singularities, but They're a little expensive. There's no reason not to run the ORT micro Vs on anything other than that they're not polarized. So like, you won't get as good multipath resistance from a linear style antenna. Jesus Christ, Canon, really? Hold on. Let's deal with this shit. Derpiest fucking face ever. Derpy face, derpy, 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 derp, derp, derp. Come on back. Come on. Come on. Oh, you gotta be shitting me. You need the canopy for the well. When you say BV2, what's that mean? 10 by 10? The measurements are in there. Just look at the cameras, and then there's in the description it explains what's going on. You might need the McStinky big, but it'll say in there. I'm not sure, but yeah, just read the description. It'll be there. Project Mockingbird says BIV2 new newbie drone 10 by 10 800 TV line. Yeah, BIV2 sounds like the new smaller BI, but I can't be sure. But in the description, it's got the measurements and whatnot. You'll be good. What else is happening, friends? If you have a CO3 camera, none of the McStinkies will work, but there are BriBrains for the CO3. I'm actually going to be putting one on to this build tonight. Might as well start now. All I got to do is remove screws. Well, I also need to replace a motor on this rig. This is a 40,000 kV build. That I stole a motor off another rig from. Wait, no, it's the other way around. I need to take the motor back for this build. So this is the, well, I'll do it on the bench cam. Why the hell not? Let's get these out of the way. So this is the Matrix build that the JST port has broken off of. So the two things going on. A, I can't change Betaflight at all on this anymore, which is admittedly annoying, but whatever. The bigger problem, though, is that these BetaFPV AIOs, they're just not doing too well, man. They're all of the Air 65, the Air 3-in-1, 4-in-1, 5-in-1. No. The Air 3-in-1 actually seems to be okay. So far. That's what I have in the little RC drift car chase rig. But I don't crash that one hard. The Air 4-in-1 and 5-in-1, and then this Matrix AIO from BetaFPV. Boy, they are struggling. I talked to so many people at Castle Crash that were just like, yo, what is BetaFPV doing? Like, so it's not just me. Everybody's having problems with these. I swear to God, I had the focus locked in manual on this camera. It is. Why is it coming out of manual focus? What the hell is that about? Alright, hopefully it'll stay in manual focus now. Yeah, it's a shame because these BetaFPV AIOs are very lightweight, and they got a lot kind of going for them, but they just keep blowing up. And everybody's starting to notice it. So Mobula 6 2024 or 2G4 are definitely the AIOs to go for at this point. And so for this build here, I just abuse it. And like this Matrix AIO is starting to go. And so I'm just going to keep abusing it until it lets all the way go. I was thinking about moving this over to a Cockroach V3 frame, but what's the point? I'm just going to leave it in this Air 65 V2 frame. It's an all beta FPV build, right? It's the Matrix, it's the CO3, it's the beta FPV frame, so kind of cool. And it also works. Like I'm very curious how durable this Air 65 V2 frame is. So kind of perfect that it's in this. It's in this build, which I just absolutely hammer the hell out of. Since this AIO is on its way out and the JST is broken off of it anyway. So and it was tuned for this frame. And so yeah, I'm just gonna keep pounding on this thing until the AIO lets go, and then I'll pull these motors off. It's not an all beta FPV build. These are Weebleed 40,000 kV 0702 motors. But yeah, that's kind of the deal here. One of the kind of weird things about this Brain for the CO3 is that the lens sticks out quite a bit. Look at this. Ready? Hold on. Let me just make sure that there's no weird stringies. Look at this. Ready? I don't understand why they didn't make the barrel of this mount a little bit longer. But maybe it doesn't matter. Come on. Come on! There we go. This does, see that? Look at the lens sticking out. Let me see something real quick though. Let's search for Brain CO3 and see if there's if I'm just using like some ultra lightweight version of it. Yeah, I am. Okay, so oh yeah, great, that's super helpful. Brain Mount CO3. So this is a remix, probably. Yeah, beta 42.069 lower. That's not what we want. So yeah, that's way too much up tilt. That's for racers. Let's see what else we got. CO3 Brain mount from Jake FPV. CO3 files. Mega up tilt. And there we go, 20-degree up tilt. So this is the right file here. So let's download that. Okay, yeah. So this is the one that I want. And look, the lens does not stick way the hell out. It just sticks out a little bit, and that's totally fine. So this is the file that I need. Good to know. What's this other one? Remixed from. Here's the original Brain. And there's a bunch of different files in here, so I bet you there's a CO3 file in here that's like ultra lightweight somewhere. Yeah, whatever. What's that last one? Ah, here we go. Here's the old school one. Yeah, so I had some weird version. I had some weird ultralight version. I'm gonna keep using it for now, but this is the one. This is, I'm gonna print one next time I have TPU loaded up in the A1 Mini. I'm gonna print this one out. Hey, but speaking of A1 Mini, yeah, there it is. Speaking of A1 Mini, I accidentally ordered the wrong goddamn cryo grip plate. I ordered the plate for the regular Bamboo Labs A1, which is also the same plate as two other Bamboo Labs printers. So if you have a Bamboo Lab printer with this bigger A1 sized plate, I'll sell you this for less than what it's worth. This is apparently the best plate for, I don't know. This is the CryoGrip Pro Glacier. And folks in chat were saying that this plate's awesome for PETG, and it also works for TPU. So yeah, I ordered this from eBay, and with eBay, it's hard to do returns. So yeah, if one of you is interested in this, let me know. I would love to move it on to a new home. This is a box from... They put me as a return address on it. I have a Discord message. I'll look it up in a moment. But let's dig in here. Hold on. This is from... Was it FizzPV? It wasn't FizzPV. It was... Oh, come on, Discord. Where's it at? Nope. Nope. Was it JakeFPV? Nope. Jake did change the little mounts around a little bit. Was it Fizz? No, it wasn't Fizz. Ugh! Might have been B Kirk. Was it B Kirk? I think it might have been B Kirk. Oh my god. It's so difficult to manage all these messages that come through. I think it was B Kirk. It was B Kirk. Yeah. B Kirk sent me a box of goodies. Whole bunch of fodder for giveaways. These are a whole bunch of GemFan Tri-Blade 1.2-inch props. We've got some old school props. We should try these out. These were the old, like, brushed propellers. If there's any of these that are 1mm motor shafts, I think I want to actually try them. And then some GemFan. Some more of the GemFan Tri-Blades. This is actually a really cool pink color. We've got some GemFan stickers. Oh man, some of the old school bi-blades, actually. If any of these are 1mm, I think I want to try them out. Just to see how far props have come. Little 3D printed iFlight. Looks like a Hero 10. I could be wrong. Mount. We've got an old school Meteor 65 frame in clear, which is very cool. What is this? Worms works good on 2S, but fun in 3S. Put a beeper on it. I have to check out what this is. I'm not sure what. Oh, I know what this is. This is a little miniature flappy guy. Flappy guy, is that what they're called? The dancing man. He's got it set up for... Hold on. I should have a battery floating around. Hold on. Let's see. I've seen these as like gag gifts before. It's super funny. Yeah. This should run it. Here he is. Awesome. I love that he converted it over to 2S. Looks like it's designed for a 9-volt battery. It works perfect on a 2S. That's awesome, dude. Very cool. Oh man, I wish I'd had this at Castle Crash. This would have been hysterical at Castle Crash to put this up on the table. Demolish a bunch of 2S batteries by letting it run too long. Oh, dude, very cool. That's awesome. What else is in here? We've got, for the record, I feel like I'm on the brink of an allergy attack. So, fair warning. These funny little, I think these are the T-Motor Tron prop guards. No, they're not. They are the prop guards for the Firefly 1S Nano. Very cool. Little 1S Nano frame. Prop guards for that. Oh my god, a fucking tech deck. I haven't seen one of these in forever. Holy Christ. I could never do the thing with the little tech decks. I could never do anything. I'm too nerdy for that. Maple Wireless little patch antenna. That's pretty cool. And then, the main reason that he was sending me a box was to send me these really cool little organizers that he designed. And I was like, yo, I gotta check those out. And so, they've got a spot for a whole bunch of batteries. And then you could put your tools tipped down in here. Looks like there's a little storage thing here for putting stuff away. A couple little dividers there. And little slots to change these dividers around. And then, what's this spot here? I think he sent me a picture of it all loaded up. What's this spot here? Oh, this is for a power supply. Oh, this is on Thingiverse. Copy text. In the chat, there's a link to this on Thingiverse. And so you, quad here, obviously, but, yeah, 65mm rig goes here. And then it looks like there's, oh, he's got a link to a different one. I think this is maybe like V1. There's also, I think, a little slot on the lid here. Yeah, this thing has changed a little bit. I think this is like the prototype / V1, but here's the current version of it, I think. Or wait, did he mold it after this? Oh wait, no. B Kirk asked me what it would cost to print that. Okay, so this isn't designed by B Kirk. You guys got to put your name in these boxes, man. Oh my god, there's also an old school run cam micro eagle in here. That's super awesome. The red one. Oh my god, I ran these cameras forever. And a little Axie antenna as well. Box of really cool stuff. Man, I know the message is sitting here, but I just get hammered on messages. Maybe it was FizzPV. Balls. Yeah, this is definitely a spot for a charger. Let's see. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. This is a spot for a charger. Fizz says no, it's not him. Oh! Whoop Fox! There it is. I didn't scroll far enough down in my chats on Oh! That's why. I wasn't talking to him on Discord. I was talking to him on Instagram, so I was looking in the wrong place. Whoop Fox, he did put his name. He engraved his name actually down here, which is pretty awesome. Whoop Fox, thank you, brother. Thank you for the box of stuff. So sorry that I'm completely unable to manage the 7,000 people that message me and remember who is what and what is where and where is how and how is why. This is very, very cool. Wait, no. For your little whoop, bunch of batteries, your charger, spot for a bunch of fun stuff, extra little storage, and then spot for your screwdrivers to drop down. Very cool little desk organizer. I dig it, brother. This fits perfect in here. And then the front is cut out so you can plug the jib jabs into it, and then there's a little gap here for the fan to blow through. Dude, awesome. And the filament changes colors. He's doing it with a color changing filament. Look at that, going from dark purple to light purple. That's super slick. Thank you, man. Box of goodies. If I can find a spot on my desk for this, I will hang on to one of these. But I have such a specific kind of desk layout here that these might both end up in giveaways. But I'm gonna try to hang on to one of these because these are really cool, and I love that that it's got the slots for all the batteries. This is really cool. This is minimalist. It's only a little bit bigger than the Whoopster. The other problem for me is that I only have the Toothster, and then my Whoopsters are the old school version 1s, which don't even have the fan on them, and it just kind of sloppily slops in here. So somebody with the V3 Whoopster, this would literally fit better. But dude, this is awesome, man. Is this available? Is this file available somewhere? Because I'm sure for somebody out there, this is absolutely perfect. Oh man, my nose is gonna explode very soon. I can feel it. Very, very cool, man. Thank you, Whoop Fox. Fun little box of goodies, man. Hey. All right, so there we go. There we have it. Back to... Wait, no, let me get caught up on chat a little bit. FizzPV says... Nope, we got that. Maxim Nub says, do you run capacitors on your O4 builds? I do not. There's no good place to put them. It's a packaging problem, as they say in the car world. Also, it doesn't look like you need them. The cameras are what break on the O4 builds, and a capacitor is not going to help with that. On the speaking of capacitors, actually, on that Siren F3 split, the capacitor broke off. I had the capacitor legs soldered directly to the ESC, and I was like, this is probably going to break off, but I'll probably get at least a couple months. No, it broke off immediately. If you're going to do any kind of crashing, having the legs of the capacitor soldered directly to the ESC, it's not going to last very long. You got to get one of those waffle caps or direct solder wires onto the capacitor, and then have wires going to the ESC as short as you possibly can, and then zip tie that capacitor somewhere that's going to hold it nice and strong. So yeah, that thing was acting a little bit weird at Castle Crash, and it was because one of the legs broke off of the capacitor, and it was like sitting right there. So I yanked it the rest of the way off, and it was totally fine. Uvok says, is everybody just running tiny whoops and fixed wings nowadays? Certainly seems like it, doesn't it? NeoFlow says, I've been sent 6 boards to test by beta, and all 6 died. Yeah, dude, it's a shame, man. It's a real shame. But luckily, we've got Happymodel boards that work really well. Josh Bergeron says, interested to see how durable that new Happymodel AIO is. The crazy G7 473. You or someone else mentioned that the other day, yesterday, 2 days ago, and I said, I'm not going to look it up right now, but mention it on the next live stream and I'll look it up. And here we are. So let's take a quick look. So it looks like you can't buy it anywhere yet, but it is on Happymodel's website. So this is not the same AIO that comes in the Mobula 704, at least the version that I have. So they're now using a JST instead of a USB. I actually like that. As much as I hate having to, have one of these things kicking around, This is actually nice. This makes it lighter and flatter. Hopefully, Happymodel used the same pinout here on their little dongle thing as Beta FPV did. If they did not, someone's going to get slapped. Yeah, it looks interesting. Happymodel's the only company that's making tiny whoop AIOs that can take any actual abuse. And so, it looks like this is direct solder only, which is absolutely infuriating. Ugh, that sucks. I really don't like that. Maybe you can put motor plugs on it. It does have the little pockets here. So maybe you can put a set of plugs on it. Let's see if they have a picture of it with plug headers on it. I doubt it. It doesn't look like they have the plug headers pictured. This looks like the image showing you everything that comes in the box, and there are no plug headers in this box, so it looks like this is designed for direct solder, which I think is kind of silly, but hey, that's just me. It looks like this is 1S only, maybe? Let's take a look. VTX power bridge, so you can disable the onboard. Oh wow, VTX power bridge and receiver power bridge. So if either the onboard VTX or the onboard receiver die, you can shut them off and put external ones on. That's pretty slick. Well, can you? So we've got TX and RX, which would allow us to put an external receiver. But what I'm not seeing is video in and video out pads. Maybe they're on the bottom here. Looks like they're on the bottom. Hey, there we go. And we have another. Oh my God, there's 3 UARTs on this. And there's the video in, video out pad. So that's pretty cool. There's a lot going on this AIO. It's cut down a little bit, so it should fit on the bigger frames that demand a little bit of extra space here. This is looking pretty good. How do you run? It looks like there's no camera plug, so you're going to have to direct solder to it for your camera. That's okay. The Modulus 6 2024 is like that. No big deal. Let's see. Is it 1S only or 1S and 2S? 1S only. Okay. That's not super surprising. Looks like they put 96K on it from the factory, so you'll definitely want to get this down to 48K for better flight performance. Cool. Another AIO. Nothing wrong with that. Direct solder only, though. That's frustrating. But not super surprising. They're not the only ones that are doing that. Sweet. Crazy G473. That rhymes. Frank Nicholas says, Bamboo Plate text, email me a link to what you purchased, and I may be interested in buying it from you. Deal. My eBay summary. Oh boy, I don't know what has triggered my allergies, but they are triggered. Triggered. I'm going to put this in the chat. Here's a link to what I bought in the chat. I'm also sending it to you, though, Frank. There it is. Everybody in chat said this thing is the cat's pajamas. Brian Kirk says, I'm sending you O4, not that. That wasn't me. I eventually figured it out. Thank you, dude. Dave S. says, that spot is for the Whoopster charger, I bet. You were right. Cole Powers says, make an insert that adapts the old Whoopster to larger format. That's a cool idea. Give me dimensions if you want. I already took dimensions for the newer red one, though there's an even newer one. I'll do the CAD, you print at home. Yeah, let me figure out if I have a spot for this thing to sit. I have a pretty specific kind of little setup going here. I will let you know though. Thank you for being willing to do CAD stuff. It's super cool of you. Matthew W says Weebleed has the crazy G473 in stock. Ginger says, what's the cheapest way to get a 75mm Class C sucks for 5-inch? I'm about to sell my 5-inch to get one. I had a Meteor 85 for my first run. What's the cheapest way to get a 75mm? I don't really understand the question. Rephrase that question in a way that I can understand it, if you don't mind. Everyday with Bruno says, my wife is on sim right now. I'm pretty lucky, I think. Hell yeah, man. Dave S says, I've been using that glacier plate for a few weeks with TPU. It's amazing. Very cool. Frank Nicholas says, I'll take the plate. Glad to pay what you paid for it. Thank you, dude. Very cool. I still have the box that it was shipped in, so I'll just print out a label and shoot it over to you. Awesome. Let me actually move it out of here to remind myself. Oh, boy. Let me go blow my nose. Maybe that'll make. Hey, here's some Castle Crash flight footage. That's right. I wanted to play through some of this. Oh, son of a bitch! I quit Inna. Oh, you dumb man, you. HD020. Castle Crash. HD020. Here, I'll be right back. This was the most recent file. Let's go to the end and okay, here you go. Here's more of the flight footage from Castle Crash. At some point, you'll see the space kind of change. I'll be right back. Let me try to get a handle on this allergy situation. Oh, hold on. Let me turn up the volume here. You can hear me ranting and raving. There you go.
Oh God, I've been trying that all night. All night I've been trying that. Get in there, get in there, fuck yeah! Oh my God. Now I'm getting sweaty. Oh, come on now, come on. Settle. Ah! Ah! Yeah.
Bear back.
Ah. Ah. Yeah, right. Yeah, I could see that. Ah. Oh, really? Oh my God. Oh boy. What are we doing? Hey! Really? Ah! Ah! Come on, man. Hook a brother up. Now we're talking.
All right.
Oh.
It's one of the problems when when my face hair gets too long. It seems to like hold on to allergens. All right, see that? It was like you were right there with me. This is still from the first night. This is still from Friday night. I haven't changed that middle table yet. Let me. I mean, is it cool? Is the audio cool? Should I leave the audio on? I'll leave the audio on for a little bit. I'm gonna keep working on this little. I'm gonna finish this the mount swap. Leave the audio on. It could be like you're hanging out with me at Castle Crash. Look at that, yo! Ooh! The cleanliness. Alright. Working on this mount. Working on this mount while I yell and scream.
Oh, I didn't make it!
Hopefully that's not coming through too loud.
Oh, balls.
Alright, finishing up the fix on this. Oh man, I got that once or twice really clean. It's really I was proud of myself for that one.
This is a Runcam Nano 3. The build earlier was the Beta FPV CO3. I like this camera because it fits in the old school Mobula 6 ball sack looking canopy. Yeah, it looks like an upside down ball sack here. Flip it upside down.
Spreading the whoop love, man.
I started calling that canopy that literally years ago, and every single time I said it, people would go, "Oh yeah."
All right, the audio is maybe a bit much. Yeah, ridiculously fun spot to fly, man. I'm super happy with how it came out. Looking forward to next year too, because like we learned some stuff, and I'm hoping I can get. Oh God, this is not the right. What is happening with this? This camera mount that I was about to put on here is at 7,000 degrees up tilt. That's not gonna work. Okay. What is happening here? Did I just grab the wrong... I hope I just grabbed the wrong one. Because this is kind of ridiculous. What about this one? Is this one 1,000 degrees? Oh! I don't have a camera mount for this that's not 1,000,000 degrees of up tilt. I'm gonna have to wait. Damn it! Or should I try to fly this at 1,000,000 degrees up tilt? I think it's 40 degrees of up tilt. No, I can't do that. This is unflyable. God damn it. I did not notice that. I'm glad I noticed it here before I put it the rest of the way back together. So, yeah, I'm going to have to get the PETG out of the printer and put TPU back into it and print that CO3 mount that I just downloaded for this thing. So we're not fixing this tonight. That's maddening. This PV says fly it. Yeah, no, it's in this little ass basement, 42 degrees of up tilt is going to be unflyable, especially by me. I'm not a massive up tilt kind of guy. That's annoying, but whatever. I mean, I do have one more of these ultralight ones that I could put on, but it's just gonna break, like the current one did. Well, you know what? Let's put this on, because otherwise I'm just gonna throw it away, and we'll see how long it lasts, crashing into carpet and shit. And that'll give me some time to print the other one out. This will take just like a second to slam this other mount on. And I wouldn't want to like sell this ultralight mount because it's just going to break on somebody else anyway. So I'll break it and then it'll be gone. So, okay. Slapping this on here. It's just that front leg, man. That front leg needs to be nice and beefy on the Bri-Brain mount. There's some, I don't see it on the Thingiverse. I bet you it's there, and I'm just not noticing it. But there's like an ultra light version of the Bri-Brain mount, and that's what this is. And boy, is it extreme! Like the light weightening measures are super extreme, and when that happens, you lose durability. And that's exactly the deal with this mount. I think it only lasted like 1 or 2 batteries in what you're watching right now. For all I know, this might even be that rig. This camera does look kind of good. I don't think this is a CO3 camera though. I don't think this is this build. All right, so one screw is in. Here comes number 2. Is one of these screws longer than the others? Nah, they're all the same. Okay, number 2. Good to go. And number 3. Yeah, around this time, people started telling me to do specific tricks. Like, somebody just told me to do a dolphin dive. I'm like, what the fuck is a dolphin dive? And, like, they started explaining it, and it didn't help at all. I don't know. I'm not that guy. I'm not the do tricks guy. I'm the fly in a way that looks cool guy. There's nothing wrong with doing tricks, but that's not my thing. That's not what I enjoy. Alright, so there we go. That's good to go. Now I just need to steal the motor back off this other rig that I stole to put this thing back onto 40,000 kV, a matched set of 40,000 kV motors. And so let's do that by going right here. 1 screw, 2 screws, 3 screws. Okay, that's off. And putting it back on here. Yeah, you know, I just mentioned in the audio that and one of the things that I definitely want to improve for next year is that it's hard to tell up from down in there. There were a bunch of situations where I thought down was up and up was down, which, like, after a crash. What should make that easier is that they'd begun to drywall the ceiling. So, like, the middle of the ceiling was white. In theory, a year from now, the whole ceiling will be drywalled. And they're also putting ceiling fans up there. So it might be super easy, but what I want to try to do for next year is shoot a different color of light, maybe blue. Shoot blue light straight up. And so the ceiling is blue, like the sky. And then everything else will be purple and red, or like whatever, not blue, basically. So that's one of the improvements that I want to kind of make for next year. What's funny is that happened at Rampage too, and I'd kind of forgotten about it. That's something that we sort of learned at Rampage, is that but we'd never fixed the problem. Like, I noticed that problem, but I'd never figured out a way to fix it, because at Rampage, inside Micro Mayhem, everything is gray, and we didn't really have enough LED lights to specifically make the ceiling like blue. But yeah, for next year, I will figure that out, which should make recovering from crashes a lot easier. All right, this thing is back together. The props are correct. Props in. I probably need to E6000 this antenna down at some point here, but in theory it'll be okay for right now. I'll fix that tonight so that the E6000 has time to cure. Cool. All right, so that's the first fix of the live stream. Let's fly it real quick, make sure it's still flying okay, and I kind of want to get a flight time on this little thing. So let's do a quick battery. Let me get out of full screen here. BRX. All right, this is a Tattoo 300 mAh battery. Let's see what's what. So again, this is a Matrix AIO. We bleed 40,000 kV 0702s. BT 2.0. Air 65 V2 frame. And a broken camera. Okay. Oh, you son of a bitch. Why is the OSD up so high? It's as if this is a PAL camera, but it's set to NTSC, or vice versa. What's going on here, little fella? I don't remember killing the camera on this rig, but maybe I did. Certainly looks like I did from what we're looking at right now. Let me take... Oh, no. The other CO3 I have here has a wire broken off. Let me see if there's a wire broken off of this camera. Sure is. God damn it. That's 2 CO3s with broken wires on them. Well, so much for that. I don't think I have any more CO3s, so I think I'm going to have to fix each of these cameras. God damn it, I wonder if that happened while I was trying to mount this camera. The stupid this is because of the stupid little wires on the CO3s. They use these dumb PVC coated wires rather than proper wires with proper silicone coating, and they're incredibly fragile. And it's super frustrating. Let me see if I can fix one of these real quick to get this thing back going. So this is the previous one that the exact same thing happened on. The ground wire broke off from under here. Unfortunately, they've got this liquid electric tape, but it looks like I peeled it away. I can fix this. We got this. Let's get this rig back up in the air. Omnifixoing. So, yeah, all right. Oh man, all these wires are coming off. The video wire's about to let go on here as well. All right, so we're gonna fix all 3 of these. I just put way too much flux on here. Hey, do me a favor, somebody type in the chat. Type left to right, red, black, yellow, please. Left to right, red, black, yellow. Okay, so we're going to pull the red one off. What the hell? There it goes. Black one already broke off. And then there's the ground. Okay, I'm just cleaning the pads up a little bit. Are these through holes? These might be through holes. They are. They are through holes. Beta FPV was not using them as through holes. Left to right, red, blue, and yellow. Nice. Okay, so they were not using these as through holes, but we are going to, because we do things right. And through holes are very, very strong. And so, with these stupid PVC wires, there's not a great way to strip them. Usually the best way I found to strip them is to use like a little razor blade, but let's just try this. So we're going to cut back a little bit because the individual strands have broken, which is why it's let go. So we want to snip back a little bit so that we have a full set of the inner strands of the wires. So all three of these we are going to snip like 2 millimeters off. And so now we're back to nice fresh wire. Let me actually try this. Sometimes I have some luck just using my fingernails to strip this PVC coated wire. Let's try. Oh God. It's hard to grip the wire because it's this stupid material. I mean, that kind of worked. Not really all that well. So let me take a little razor blade and I'm just gonna kind of run this around. Does anybody know any magical tricks for dealing with this wire? With this insulation, I should say? I really wish that these manufacturers would just stop using it. It's just trash. Well, that's not too bad. I did kind of get it off of there. All right, so that one I just went in raw dog with my fingernails. Let me, on this next one, let me at least try to leave a little bit of a, just use the razor blade a little bit to leave a little weak spot. Okay, so that video wire might be okay. Here's the voltage wire. Let me take this, and what I'm going to do is hold the razor blade between my thumb and forefinger, and I'm just going to try to spin this wire around in there. So just spin the wire around while putting a little bit of pressure with this razor blade. And then I'm going to come in with my fingernails, pinch good and hard, and yank. And no, it does the same thing. It does the same thing where the PVC like strings out all ugly like, God, this sucks. Okay. Yeah, this is just shitty to deal with. Damn it. You definitely don't want to try to use flush cutters with these wires. That will absolutely not work. It's just going to mash right through it and attack the inner strands. Oof. Okay, ground wire. Just trying to leave a little indentation, like a little weak spot in the insulation. Ugh. Yeah, no, it pulls off so ugly. And then it's also like, I mangled the wire pretty good on this one. Oh man, yeah, I mangled this wire. On this one, I'm gonna have to cut it back and try again. So my ground wire is going to be significantly shorter. That sucks. Can't use better wire, Dave S. It's this stupid little plug. They use these infinitely small little JST plugs, and these wires are crimped to the plug, so there's like nothing you can really do. Okay, so let me put it on against the OmniFixo, and maybe if I rotate it on here, I'll have a little bit better luck than rotating it in my fingers. It's like not wanting to. No, yeah. See, this sucks. My God, this sucks. Okay, this is going to be an ugly camera. These wires are going to be all weird lengths, but whatever. Let's just get the job done and move on. All right, dig my fingernails in and pull. No, that one came off a little bit nicer. Still pretty shitty though. All right, we're gonna tin all three of these and then blop them into the through holes. And so here we go. We're gonna, in order to tin wires, we want to try to push the solder in through the individual strands of wire. And with these coated wires, you want to be as quick as possible because this insulation melts really quickly. And when it melts, it kind of shrinks up and it becomes relatively ugly. Okay. That's not too bad. I'm going to need a new tip for this soldering iron at one point. There's like a big indentation in it, which was never there before. I don't really know where that came from, but I just noticed it the other day. This tip's getting old. I've used it a lot, though. All right. Those guys are tinned. Let me check chat. Red, black, yellow. Left to right. Red, black, yellow. And so I am going to use these through holes. To do that, I'm going to put the soldering iron on the bottom so that I can push the wire through on the top. So this might look a little bit weird the way that I'm doing this, but it's for good reason. I want to sink as much of these wires down through as possible. So here we go. Clean up this wire a little bit. On the bottom. Man, this is hard to see. Woo! Wish I had even more magnification than this. All right, wait for the solder to go liquid. Nope. Try again. There it is. Okay. Awesome. All right. Video wires through. Middle, I believe, was ground. And so, real carefully. Ground pad. This is going to be super hard because the ground wire is too short. Let me tin the tip of the soldering iron for the bottom there. I'm not getting any heat transfer at the moment. Okay. There it is. I just saw it go liquid. Come on. Boy, these are some tiny ass through holes. There it goes. Almost. I want to get the wire as far through as I can. Well, that's about as good as it's going to get, I think. Hold on. God damn it. Hold up. Let me try one more time. That's better. Come on, go in there. Ah, fuck, it came out. The ground wire is so much shorter Ugh. Come on. There we go. There we go. I'm trying to make sure that I get the insulation butted up against the PCB, as I always talk about, for as much strength as possible. Oh, no. All right, trying to get the third one. Nope, it's not wanting to go through, and my fingers are starting to burn. I also don't have very good light where I'm working here, so I'm going to move the OmniFixo forward. I'm going to try to straighten these wires out a little bit here, and then we're going to go again. I'm going to put these wires down against the flat surface. Push and then pull. When you try to use a through hole, if you get it wrong, you can either have one wire go rogue, or sometimes all of the wires, and then so you have to kind of straighten them back out, and that's what I just did. Let's try this one more time. These wires are so hard to get a grip on because of this stupid smooth surface. Okay. Here we go. Come on, buddy. Whew, this is small. This is small, tiny little work. All right, let's straighten this wire out. Okay, that should be a little bit better. Yeah, that should be better. Okay, let's try it one more time. Joint is liquid. Find the hole. Where's the hole? Where's the hole? Let me try with tweezers. There it is. There it is. Awesome. All right. Whew, that was tough. One CO3 repaired with a ground wire that's way too short. But whatever. It's fixed. I'll swap this in. I won't make you guys watch me fix another one. Twist these up a little bit. We'll be all set. Okay. Yeah, good. So now we're using the through holes. So what I could do is just put a blob of E6000 on here. You know, I'm gonna do it with hot glue. Actually, no, I'm not. I'll just leave it on. But if you wanted to make these a little bit stronger, you could just run a little bead of E6000 on here. The only thing that's kind of annoying about that is you're gonna have to remove it at some point if you ever work on them again. But I mean, in theory, you do that and you don't have to screw with it. Whew! Damn. That's tough. Okay, let me see if I can... by the way, you can buy black hot glue. And then just use a lighter to stick it to stuff. I wonder if I can get this CO3 out of here without pulling the screws. Let's try. Looks like it. Looks like it. Alright, so now I got another one I need to fix. Let's run this on down here. And then we're going to flip this around. Come on now. There we go. Flip this around, mash it back through. Okay. Catching on the bottom of the mount. There we go. Does that look good on the bottom and the top, or just the bottom? Yeah, just the bottom. Sorry, just the top, I meant to say. Now it's looking better. There it is. All right. That is all the way in the mount. Now we just got to deal with this incredibly annoying little plug here. I don't know which side is which, so I think this is the side that's up. God, I hate dealing with these plugs. I hate like touching these wires. Every time I touch these wires, it feels like they're gonna break. I'm gonna put 180-degree bend on this here. There we go. Okay. And so now... Oh, come on. I'm being, like, absolutely as gentle as I can on these wires because they're just garbage. I don't want to have to grab them, but I kind of have to grab them. Well, let's just see. Oh, God. Please. This plug and these wires are, like, so small and light that, like you can't even feel them with, like, your fingertips. It's like... It's just terrible. Newbie Drone uses this stupid plug too. I hate it. Like, I get wanting to save weight, but god damn it. This is so stupid. Like, they know damn well that this is DIY and that we're going to have to change this. Oh, there it goes. There it goes. Yes. Does not seat in there all that well. That is alarming. Okay, I do need to get these wires just pulled out a little bit here. Hold on. There it is. Okay, let's see if we have video. We better. I'll tell you what. As soon as I put the magnified headset on, I was able to do this. Without the magnified headset on, I was not able to do this. I just noticed something kind of ugly. One of these pins is bent really close to one of the other ones. So let me just fix that real quick. This is where I guess I was using my fingernail to try to get this goddamn liquid electric tape that they use out of here on the UFL plug, and it looks like I almost bent one of these pins to the point where it touches the other pin, but we're good now. Jesus, man. Finicky. Alright. We should be okay. We should have one repair done. I was hoping to get them all repaired, but, you know, take what I can get. Let's see what we got. Battery? Come on, baby. Have video. Have video, you little bastard. Hey! Alright, let's fly a quick one. This is 40,000 kV motors with the HQ 1.2 by 0.9 by 3 tri-blades. Nice low camera angle, which you can tell because you can see the ducts here. Alright. The lens is extremely dirty from me just absolutely manhandling it. Let's fix that real quick. Much better. Much, much, much better. Alright. Matrix build on the V2 frame. PID tune's a little aggressive. Yikes. I can tell the PID tune's a little too aggressive by it not spinning all the way down. Whoa, and it just tried to fly away, actually. Let's try something, actually. Wait, maybe not. I don't know if I can get to it in the menu. Can I get to the D-term filters? Filter global. Arrow, no. Dynamic filter. Nope. How do I get to a D-term notch filter? Is there a way? Quad66 had some interesting findings with this frame. If I can figure out where the D-term notch filters are, I might be able to help this. Hey, there we go. D-term notch filter, and then D-term notch filter cutoff. So with his Air 65 V2 frame, he put the center at 130 and the cutoff at 115. I wonder if that's going to help. It's worth a shot. Let's see. 130 and then CO for cutoff. We're going to put that at 115. This is going to put a really narrow notch here. Let's see what this does. 115. Save and exit. It's better. It stays nice and quiet now when I'm off throttle, throwing it across the room. Way better. This did add some latency though, so which I can tell by there's a little bit more prop wash. So let's come in here to profile, and then we're gonna go to filter PP. No, I need the sliders. Where are the sliders at? Where are the filter sliders at? Oh shit. Can you not change the filter slider, or is it in simplified tuning? D-term multiplier 1.4. There it is. That's the D-term slider. Let's move that all the way up to 1.8. All better. Not quite. That's pretty cool, though. Well, I pushed that slider up a little too far, I think. Let's come back in here. Profile. Simplified tuning. Basic. DMAX. Pitch roll. DMAX. Yep, that's fine. Master multiplier 1.0. Gyro tuning on. Gyro multiplier filter slider is all the way up at 2.0. This is awful aggressive at 1.8. I gotta back this off just a little bit. I'll be damned. Let's do this. I'm gonna push some. Oh, the D gains and P and I gains are already really aggressive. I'm gonna leave it. I'm gonna leave it right there. Oh god. I definitely added a bunch of latency. I can. It feels significantly more latent. That's a pretty aggressive D-term notch. It's a narrow notch, but it's down low. It's targeting a frame resonance though that Quad 66 noticed. Without the ability to hook this up to Betaflight because that shit broke off, there's not a whole lot that I can do though. So I'm just gonna kind of leave it there. This build is whatever. It's gonna blow up at some point anyway. So, but hey, it works. It works again, and that definitely helped dropping that notch filter. That's pretty cool. Hate having to put a notch filter down that low, but boy, did that quiet this thing down. That's pretty cool. Usually you can't do that. Usually you can't just take somebody else's filter and drop it on there, but what that really does prove is that that filter is specifically targeting this exact frame. I wish I could hook this up to Betaflight to do some things to chill some of the other filtering out, but I already have that gyro filter slider all the way up. And then I took that D-term filter slider and I moved it up quite a bit. What else can I do? Let me go back into the OSD real quick. Hold on, let's throw another battery through this. Let me go back into the OSD and see what else I can get access to. Maybe I can turn the dynamic filtering down a little bit. Hold on. Let's see. Did that live stream not too long ago about like how much tuning can you do inside of the OSD, and I found all kinds of shit in there that I didn't know was there. So let's see. Profile. Simplified tuning. So we already used all of these. Okay, so we need to find more filtering. Feed forward angle. No. Horizon, anti-gravity gain. Water out limit, launch control. No. Oh, wait. Was there just something in there? D-min. No. VBAT sag. TPA. Nope, so nothing in there. Filt PP, what is this? So I only have control of D-term notch filter. That's what I just turned on. Yaw low pass filter. That's fine. We're going to go back. Rate profile. No. Rate. Sometimes they have some shit buried in here. Throttle mid. Nope. Nothing in there. Filter global. Here we go. Here we go. So gyro low pass filter 1 and 2 are on the sliders. That's what that S means. Gyro NF. Notch filter 1. Okay, yeah, so these are the gyro notch filters. So this doesn't help us. Dynamic filter. Here we go. 1 dynamic notch. The Q is down at 300. Let's move that up. The higher the Q is, the narrower the filter, and that's going to reduce latency. So let's move that up to 500. Notch minimum. What notch is this? Is this a dynamic notch? Yes. Let's move this up to 200. We want to take filtering away because we've added a lot. It goes up to 800. That's fine. Gyro dynamic low pass filter expo. That's interesting. A bunch of these are driven by the sliders. D-term expo. I don't know what these expos are. Oh, shit, these are all locked into the sliders. And I don't see a spot where I can get into the sliders. So that was in profile. What about in features? Wasn't there something in here? Black box. No. Power. No. OSD. No. Flight controller and firmware. Do we have anything in here? Nope. Nothing useful in here. Miscellaneous. Minimum throttle. Nope. Digital idle. No. FPV cam angle. No. RC preview. Alright, I think that's all that I can change. Maybe that... Oh, God. Easy little fella. Don't blow everything around the desk. Let's see if that feels any better. Oh, boy, that's not a good sign. Oh, it feels better, though. Yep, that feels better. Feels a lot better. And it's nice and quiet. Hey! Success! Wow. Feels way better. Look at all that tuning we can do inside of the OSD. God, that's nice. Whoa, I got confused. Ugh, come on. Stop it! Oh my God, relax. And it's eating prop wash. Now that the latency is under control, it's eating all the prop wash. D-gain does the biggest job in eating prop wash, but I've got all the D-gain in the world on this build. And so, when you've already added a bunch of D-gain, sometimes latency, lowering latency, I should say, is the best way. Oh boy, to get the flight performance back, and it feels better on the stickies. Very cool, man. There's still the RP. I don't see in the OSD anywhere to change the RPM filtering, which is kind of a bummer, but that's all right. Not getting very good runtime though on this rig. Only getting about 2 minutes of runtime on this thing. But, hey, it flies a lot better. Cool. One rig totally fixed and improved. I thought that the gyro was on its way out on this rig because of how bad the the flight characteristics sort of were. Maybe it's just a frame resonance thing. I don't know. Cool. One build repaired in 2 full hours. Yikes. Are there any other quick fixes? This is not going to be quick because it ate a motor. Let me confirm that though. Let me see if the if this thing really did eat a motor. Throw a battery on it and arm it and see what happens. Oh, come on, man. Get up in there. Man, I've really mushroomed the shit out of the front of a bunch of these motors. Is it the right front motor is the main question here. What the hell, dude? Oh, yeah, no, this one, can you hear it? Motor 1, motor 2, motor 4, motor 3, motor 1. Motor 1 is just weak. And that's not the motor that's got the screws broken. And so now what we want to do is hold it and pay attention to the vibes and spin these nice and slow. And you might be able to hear it. Motor 2. Feeling for vibrations. 3. 4. Motor 1 does not... I mean, it's obviously a lot weaker. Now I'm starting to think it's a... that leads me to believe that it's an ESC issue. Oh, okay. Yeah, it's... Oh, there it goes. Whoa! That was a big uncommanded tumble there. So yeah, something's still going on. Yeah, I can feel it. It's having to compensate for motor 1. Man, these 1.4-inch prop rigs be floating. Really? Stop! Well, I fixed it. Not all the way. Hey. Oh! Hey. Oh, come on now, really? Last step gonna eat me like that? Let's see the float. Oh, the float. The float is just delicious. Oh, no! No, no, no. No! What are you doing? What? Why is it doing this? Why was it acting like that? Oh my god, the beta FPV stuff is just such a mess. It went through! Oh boy. Cool. It's not all the way fixed, but it's kind of sort of fixed. I can't believe motor number 2 is completely fine with just one screw in it. That's absolutely insane. Well, I mean, okay. It's 9 o'clock on a Friday night, my friends. Go hang out with your families. Go on a date. Go do something cool. I'm gonna fix One more of these on my time. Wait, no. Let me get caught up on chat. That's cool. That's how we'll end this one. Huh. I'm down with that little filtering magic. That's pretty cool. You gotta watch Quad66's video to dive into that though, which you should anyway. FizzPV says, fly it? I did. JB Flies FPV is in the house. She says, I was a total blast to fly in there. Love it. Brian Kirk says, what's the best analog whoop camera for dark indoor flying? They're all pretty much the same. Look at any one of my... I did 2 big camera comparisons. Watch those. And just pick the one that you like the best. You like the look of the best. License to Drive. What's up, brother? He says, how's your Avatar 2 killer progressing? Did you get the 45-degree Universal T holder printed? Not yet. I'm just using the one that I kind of chopped all up. It's pretty good, though. I flew it around at Castle Crash. And unfortunately, it did not record on board. But it did record on the goggles. Which is in here somewhere. Good lord, where the hell is that? DJI 3.7. Is this it? No, this isn't it. 3.7. No, 1.5 and 1.6. Here it is. Nope, that's not it. 2.9. Oh boy. 3.5. Nope, that's not it. This is the O4 rig. I was kind of pissed that it didn't record on board, because I did a really nice fly through of. So here it is. This is the Avata 2 killer. Take note, right? So this is on Gemini. The RSSI was getting really, really low, but the link quality was still totally fine. This is pretty much all of Castle Crash. I was pushing the video link to its limits. It might have... I don't know what the power setting was. I think I had it cranked up, but I'm pretty sure that I didn't do the FCC hack on this, so I think it's only at 700 million watts. I got to do the FCC hack, but look how far away I am, right? So I was all the way up there. There's all these trees in the way. I'm flying from all the way down here. Ready? Oh, that's why it stopped. Oh, yeah, okay. That's weird. I'm all the way over here. I'm standing right there to the right. This was like sort of the closing ceremony or whatever of Castle Crash. And so I flew it all the way into here. And then kept going. There we are. This thing's fun to fly, man. It runs forever. And then I pushed it all the way back. The goggles were also going dead. So now I'm pushing it all the way back towards the rear flight line. We're already at like 3 minutes and 40 seconds. But yeah, Gemini was definitely outrunning the video, but not by much. I was hoping that it would do a little bit better than this, but I again, this is like the second battery that I've flown on it. I don't have it dialed in. I don't know what output power I had ELRS set on. But I mean, this is pretty deep, man. There's a lot of trees in the way right now. RSSI is pretty low. The RSSI might be wrong. I might need to like tune that shit in. I don't know, man. I got to do some more work on this thing. The O4 let me... This is now O4 Pro. I've never flown with this clear of a transmission, which was really cool to see, like, the little scraggly boys and girls. But yeah, this is fun. 4 minutes and 43. This is also on a 4S 850. This is on a smaller battery. And I think it went for like 5.5 minutes. We're at 4 minutes 55 now. That's where Castle Crash is. It's in the woods. So yeah, super, like way too early to really tell, but pretty impressive performance like, without dialing anything in. So yeah, this is pretty cool. I'm admittedly heartbroken that it did not record on board. I gotta figure out why. There's Kevin interviewing the Avata killer. So there we go, 5 minutes and 30 seconds. Ridiculous. I was like, no, big motors. No hand land, big motors. See, that was pretty cool. Uriel says, how long is a Dutch guy with a visa welcome in the Americas? Few months, start traveling, maybe USA on motorbike. With the current idiots in charge, nobody that's not white and born in America is really allowed. So yeah, it's not a great time to come to this country. Yeah, sorry. It's kind of insane. You Can Have PV says, literally broke a CO3 wire last night doing a split ass gap through the weight bench. Nice. Mine was already redone through the holes, NE6000, and it still broke. Yeah, these wires suck, man. Project Mockingbird says, not that it works great, but I lay the wires on a table, gently rotate the X-Acto over it as it rolls. Yep, that's a good way of doing it. You Can Have PV says, solder a new wire right after the plug. I do not like soldering wire to wire. It's not very strong unless you do it the right way. The right way to do it is to expose a bunch of wire and to make hooks, and so that the wire is like, solder is a bad. The physical properties of solder suck. It's kind of weak, and so the wires are longer, and so you want to do them like this. But then you got like this big booger on there, and it's ugly and awful. I try not to do it. Uriel says, you're the man. Thank you, brother. Raise FPV says, good evening. Everyday with Bruno says, had to do that to a Runcam Nano 4. Kelvin says, found an old analog whoop that I thought I could fly 3S. 2 seconds into the flight, turns out, no, it's not 3S. Fell to the ground like a sack of hammers. Lame. I mean, you found out. Trying to figure out where I was because YouTube scrolled me to the bottom for no reason. Project Mockingbird says, and I don't think they stay in very well on that small camera flag. They do not. You got to E6000 them. Love the size, but everything CiottiFPV is saying this camera installs every time I do it too. Yeah, super annoying. Mockingbird says, I went Quad 66 to do testing on all the frames with this black box for that notch. Me too. FizzPV says, girlfriend is at work until 10 Central Time. Everything Bruno says, putting 6 batteries through currently. Determined to fly as close to 6 every day that I can. Love it. You guys should all be doing that. And then last comment of the live stream, Everyday with Bruno says, damn, that's crazy. You got all the way back there. Yeah. The range was pretty impressive, especially with the fact that I have not dialed it in yet. Thanks for hanging, friends. I'll see you again on Sunday at 3 o'clock. And have an excellent weekend. CiottiFPV.com to support me. Love you, bye. Here's some more flying from Castle Crash. We're still on day 1. We'll get to day 2. Hey, this is day 2 now. It's day 2.